Welcome to the Management Minute, presented by ManagingScrupulosity.com. Helpful pastoral guidance intended to encourage the effective management of your OCD and scrupulosity. More than sin. We often understand religion as the practice of learning how to avoid sin, becoming free from sin, and being forgiven of sin on those occasions when we have succumbed to temptation. According to this very limited point of view, eventually we arrive at the point in our life when we die, making sure it is at that point in our life when we have been signed, sealed, and delivered as free from sin, and in need only of a little purgatory, and certainly not the big hell of eternity. Is this yet another example of the human person concentrating and obsessing on one part of the experience of the relationship between God and humanity, and in the process perhaps losing sight of the forest? Today in the church there are some voices, at this point not yet too loud or obvious, that are weakly raising their voices and proclaiming that perhaps we're missing the big picture. This new voice is suggesting, for our reflection, that perhaps by concentrating on sin, we have lost sight of a bigger event in our relationship between God and His people. This even bigger event is the incarnation of God into our world. In other words, in spite of our human obsession, or maybe even because of our insistence that we are somehow separated from God, God determined once and for all to end this perceived separation by becoming one of us. In a very real sense, how can God, who is now incarnate in the human person through Jesus, be separated from Himself? If you let this reality sink in for a few moments, the truth of what it proclaims becomes so obvious, so powerful, and so life-giving for each of us. While the human person has been running around and expending all sorts of energy determining how we have become separated from God, and what we therefore need to do to become somehow reunited with God, God in the person of Jesus cut through all of our methods, all of our ideas, all of our perceptions, and freely became incarnate in our world. If we would somehow come to the point in our lives where we could open our eyes and see, we would notice not the separation between God and humanity, but rather the incarnate reality of what it now means to say that God, in the person of Jesus, became a human being. That must mean something, don't you think? If you wish to learn more about this topic, please refer to the citation that we have provided. Please visit YouTube at Catholic OCD for a variety of video presentations on important topics. If you wish to support this ministry, please visit the funding platform at patreon.com, also at Catholic OCD.